You didn't laugh at that.
So here's probably going to be our biggest point of
Oh my gosh, dude.
I don't like.
Oh my gosh.
I was looking.
I can't do this podcast anymore.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 23 of Screenwoven, your hub for all things stories. I'm Chris, this is Daniel, and we are here to talk to you about just copious amounts of useless information. Just so much stuff you don't even need to know, but hopefully you enjoy hearing about, learning about, listening to.
It's like Seinfeld, but just not funny.
So just like Seinfeld. It's
Oh my
just
gosh.
like Seinfeld. Like to a T.
I set myself up for that one.
But yeah, today we have a couple, I think.
At least you've seen Lord of the Rings, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just like Lord of the Rings, except I've seen it. Couple things that I think are going to be pretty fun discussions. Got a trailer to talk about. New Andrew Garfield movie. Those are related. I said them like they're two different things, but that's all one topic. Because we are Marvel shill sellouts, we're going to talk about the Doomsday trailer that is ever approaching.
And they're not even sponsors.
I know. We should at least be getting some money for how much we've been glazing them.
You know, the funny thing is the term sellout comes because you typically sell out for money.
Yeah.
But we just do it.
We just did it for the
because
love
we hate
of the
ourselves.
game.
Oh.
Two very different takes on why we've sold out. And then,
Don't cough, please.
I'm still kind of getting over that, but it's better. It should be better today. Quick. I don't want to oversell it and say philosophical, but I'm going to oversell it and say philosophical topic on our take on the idea that movie stars are done. They're dead. The idea, the concept of movie stars is done. And then in the last hour, we have a bit of an old-fashioned three-way standoff we're going to talk about, where I have finally watched The Paper, which Daniel has been on here advocating for and trying to get me to watch. So I finally sat down and watched The Paper.
How much did you watch? Just curious.
I got the whole season.
You watched the whole season? Oh, boy!
I watched the whole first season of The Paper, the whole first season of St. Denis Medical.
Oh,
and
geez.
I got about halfway through rewatching the first season of The Office just for a refresher.
Oh, man, okay.
Because we are going to be kind of comparing and contrasting the kind of the OG workplace sitcom in this format of The Office versus kind of two of its more recent offspring in a very literal successor / spinoff sequel, The Paper, and then kind of a spiritual successor in St. Denis Medical. So yeah, that'll be kind of a fun chat, I think.
Oh yeah.
So let's start off with, just because there's the least amount here to talk about, the hype is building. Doomsday is upon us. Every day there's more and more supposed leaked, photos and stills and this and that. I know last time we talked, you weren't on Twitter right now, so I don't know that you've seen.
I'm back on, but I haven't seen anything on Twitter about it though.
Okay. I mean, pretty much everything that gets posted, you immediately have people. This is just the new world we live in now. Everything's AI. I mean, even if it's real, it's AI until it gets proven.
Yeah.
So
it's like innocent until proven guilty.
Pretty much.
Except AI until proven real.
Right. Like literally everything that gets posted, and some of it looks very legit. Everyone in the comments is, that's fake. That's AI. Then they always have a reason. I don't get it. I don't know how they're getting to that, but
I mean, I haven't seen any of the specific Marvel related stuff you're talking about, but on social media, I have been seeing a lot of videos that look super real that people are falling for.
Yeah.
There's accounts that are posting it's like these in-home security camera videos. Have you seen those?
I mean, I've seen videos like that. I don't know if I've seen any AI ones, but
well, there's a large percentage of them now that are AI. There's these accounts posting these videos of crazy things caught on camera, and it's all fake. It's all AI.
Wow.
It's honestly that should be there needs to be legal ramifications for that. It's okay if you're telling people it's AI, but they're tricking them into thinking it's real.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go on that tangent. But
No, you're good. I mean, yeah, I don't know that this is it's going to get out of hand before it gets handled. So, I guess we have that to look forward to in probably the near future. But, so yeah, I mean, there's new supposed leaks every single day. You see stuff. But really, here's what we know. It's been pretty much, I think, confirmed by legitimate sources. Sources that the trailer will be attached to the new Avatar film. That comes out on the 19th. So we are exactly 2 weeks away.
Oh boy.
The next time we do a podcast, that will be technically the opening day for Avatar Fire and Ash. So by then, we will have a trailer.
All right.
Now, that being said, I've been hearing new rumblings that we might have it sooner than that.
Yeah, but remember the whole second chair drop that never happened?
Well, I'm still waiting on that. But
Doomsday's going to be out, and you're going to be like, we might be getting that
might
trailer.
still be getting that second chair thing. No, this is there's a lot to this, and I don't want to spend as much time as I would need to like break this all down, but there's a lot of inconsequential, like really small, like nugget type information type things that people have kind of pieced together to bring some legitimacy to the idea that the trailer could drop either in 2 days. I've also heard the 11th.
I'm sorry. Take it back. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
That setup was, I just couldn't deal with it. But I just had an idea, and I had to fix it. And then when I started doing it, it changed the audio. So I didn't want you to go on that huge tangent. And then I really should have figured this out before you got here.
You're fine.
I failed you, Chris.
We're just gonna edit this out. We'll put elevator music.
This is much better because I can look at you too.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is it right here. Okay.
This is it. This is what we've been waiting for.
All right. Continue.
So yeah, basically, a lot of small bits of information that have kind of been pieced together to bring any amount of legitimacy to this theory. But ever since Fantastic Four has started, like promoting, like the first trailer came out, there's been an official account on Twitter that every Sunday at 7:00 they tweet out the little clip of Reed from that movie saying, every Sunday, 7:00 sharp, family dinner. We're all here. They do it every Sunday at 7. So that mixed with like a bunch of other like, ooh, I found this, ooh, I saw this, ooh, I think this means that kind of stuff has made people think that it's very possible that we could get it this Sunday on the 7th. I've also heard the 11th. The 11th is more supposed industry rumor rumbling, like that Disney is, I think, officially releasing a trailer for a movie on the 11th. And no one knows what else it could be if it's not Doomsday. So that's where the 11th comes from.
Watch it be Moana live action.
I think that's already out.
They just put a teaser out, right?
Well, I guess, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember how.
It was just like a really, really short, like, from what I remember, I think it was like 10 seconds. I mean, it wasn't.
Well, it was longer than that, I know.
Oh, really?
But I don't think it was like a full, like, 2.5 minute.
Okay.
It might have been like a minute or even a little less, but yeah, I think you were right. It was so. I mean, it could be that, but all that to say, it's coming. At the most, we're 2 weeks away.
Yeah,
and we could be less than that. So hype is building. The excitement is growing. I cannot wait to see what they're going to actually show in this thing. Of course, I was like that for Endgame, and that trailer kind of disappointed me. So,
were you like that for Infinity War, or did you just not have any expectations?
I was very excited for the Infinity War trailer, extremely excited. But the Infinity War trailer lived up. Like the Infinity War trailer showed a lot, really.
That's kind of the point I was trying to make. Is like 50-50. Doomsday could be Infinity War, or it could be Endgame.
Well, to be honest, most of their trailers usually do a good job. So I'd say it's even more than 50-50. Like it leans positive for me. Like I think we're gonna see a good bit.
Yeah. Plus, there's a lot at stake on this one.
I was just gonna say, I think they know they have to nail this lead up.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna see a decent amount in this trailer. Still not sure if we're gonna hear the voice or not. And until I do, I'm still standing by. I don't care how cool he looks. I don't care what we see. Until I hear him deliver some dialogue as Doom, it's going to be hard for me to be completely sold on RDJ in a villain role like that. But
ever since you've brought up wanting to hear his voice, I can't shake it from my mind because I'm like, I never really thought about it, but I'm like, yeah, because all I can picture him doing is Tony Stark dialogue.
Yeah.
And
like
that's
that kind of snappy, witty,
yeah,
quippy. And all their villains are like that. Loki's like that. Ultron was like that, and he was a robot. Like, they're all kind of.
Thanos isn't like that.
Thanos was not quippy. I'll give you that. And if
he was very monotone and like
very serious. Yeah. So if they're going for that again, I still stand by. I think he can do it, but I also stand by. I need to hear it.
Yeah,
I need to hear it, and I need to hear it in some context of. I mean, even like a voiceover monologue over the trailer or something. Just, I need to know, are you going to modify his voice at all? I mean, he's talking behind a mask. So, I mean, is it going to sound like robotic? Is it going to sound muffled? Yeah. What are we doing? Like, what route are we going?
That would be cool if they had some kind of like metallic sound or something.
Like it's coming through like a modulator or something on the mask. And that could help or hurt. I thought it was cool when they did that for Ben Affleck's Batman.
Me too. That was the best thing about those movies.
A lot of people hated that.
Really?
Hated that. They were like, "What? Batman doesn't do that. He doesn't have." Well, no, but you guys are all about a real grounded take.
Yeah.
In real life, if you wanted to hide your identity, it would make sense to put something on your mask.
Yeah.
That changes your voice.
And also, it's like infinitely more intimidating than where are the other drugs going?
Well, you gotta remember. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say you were in the minority of like people who didn't love the Christian Bale voice, but it's actually, as time has gone on, more and more people have kind of begun to look back and be like, it was a bit much.
Yeah.
Again, I'll say, I don't know when the last time you watched Batman Begins. It was not bad in that movie.
It wasn't as bad, but it was still bad. Especially that scene and the way he like shakes his face first.
That was Dark Knight.
No. The Where Are the Other Drugs Going? That was Batman Begins.
Like, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
He pulls the guy up and he goes,
yeah.
Like his like whole face shakes. It's just, and that's the only thing I don't like about that movie. I mean, it's a great movie. I'm not trying to knock it.
In that specific scene, he is trying to scare that guy. Like, that guy literally is kind of mocking him at first, saying, like, I know you won't kill me. Like,
yeah, but he does that before that guy even says that. And then when he actually drops the guy, I'm like, that part is intimidating.
Oh.
The first thing he does is he picks him up and he grabs his head. And at that part, I'm like, oh, dang. But then he goes, which, to be fair, it would still scare me because I'd be like, is this guy on drugs?
Why do you want to know where the drugs are going? You need somebody?
I didn't even think about that connection.
Yeah, but no, I think you've convinced a lot of people. This podcast is so popular. You've brought a lot of people over to your side of things.
That's why I do what I do.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
To inform the public opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, like I said, not much to talk about there. Just really excited. We're getting close. Like I said, by the next time we do a show, one way or the other, we'll have a trailer to talk about.
That's right.
And I'm sure it will take up majority of our time.
Oh yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
It's taking up a good bit of our time right now, and it's not even here.
So while we're while we're on trailers, right before we started recording, I showed you. We both, for the first time, saw a trailer for a new original movie coming out, starring Andrew Garfield and a bunch of other people. And there was something else I was going to say about it. I don't remember. Anyway, it's called The Magical Faraway Tree, and based strictly on this, 2-ish minute trailer. Andrew Garfield is a dad and a husband. They've got, I think, 3 kids, and it looks like they were kind of living high, and then something happens. They end up being, by circumstances, forced to kind of move out into like the country. It looks like this takes place in like somewhere in England or like Europe in general somewhere. They don't really say anything specific in the trailer, but out kind of in the country somewhere in Europe, and basically one of the kids finds a magic part of a forest and hijinks ensue. So thoughts?
Who is Sue? I don't remember her.
I think that was the little girl. I'm only asking for your thoughts first because you after we watched it, you were like, "I'm really glad you showed me that. I have a lot to say." And I don't know if you were being sarcastic or not.
No, I wasn't. I really liked it. That's like
okay.
That's like my thing. You know,
I figured while I was watching it, I was like, okay, original idea, not a sequel, not a prequel, not a reboot. Check. Leading actor that he likes. Check. Fantasy, like fantastical, like weird, wacky elements and characters. Check. And then the tone of it seemed very like cutesy, family friendly, kind of a adventure movie. So I was like, man, Daniel would love this.
Yeah, it hit all the points for me. But the only small little nitpick is I kind of wish people would explore more ideas in fantasy other than just elves and dwarves, and which, that's kind of the genre now, and Tolkien popularized it so much that he was drawing from mythology and stuff, but still, that's to be expected. But when I saw the elf, I was like, it's always elves.
Was that the girl with the white hair?
Yeah,
she was an elf.
She at least looked like an elf. She had the pointy ears and stuff, which is very overdone in fantasy. But that's a nitpick. It's like that's part of the genre, kind of comes with it. But yeah, I mean,
also had the saucepan man.
That's true.
That's different.
Well, that's the kind of stuff that like I like. So I'm reading through a series right now called Beyonders by Brandon Mull. He's the one who also wrote that 5 Kingdoms series that I finished.
Oh, okay.
And he has races that are really unique in his story. Like there's this race called Displacers, and they can remove parts of their body, but it's still connected. So like an evil wizard will like take Displacer's ears and graft them onto other people so that person is actually feeding the Displacer. The Displacer can hear it wherever they go. And it's really cool stuff. Like unique ideas like that are the types of things that I like to see in fantasy. But I'm not gonna hate it just because it has elves in it. I'm just like, it's a nitpick. Other than that, everything you said, it's like family friendly fantasy adventure. Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
And Andrew Garfield. I mean, I love that guy.
Yeah. Kind of interesting to see a guy we grew up with, him playing a high schooler, him playing like a dad now.
Oh, and the other thing on that note, that the whole theme of the movie was like they're moving them out to the country because their kids are sucked into these screens, and he's like, I feel like their childhood is not, and it's like
disappearing. Yeah,
it's hitting on that imagination aspect, and I really that hit hard for me. I was like, oh, I love this.
It'd be funny if like the solution at the climax of the movie is that they actually needed the iPads all along.
I was wrong about pretending and imagination.
You guys were right. This is awful. This is the only thing keeping the evil queen trapped was iPads. Man, what have we done?
But, like when I was a child, I would go out in the woods and I would imagine that I was in Lord of the Rings or I don't know, some kind of action movie and I was running from a bad guy, or we would make these fake little forest forts where like our towns were and stuff. Like that's the way it was before, granted there was video games. My brother was in the room playing video games all day long. So part of it's just personality. But like that,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it seems to me that is less frequent than it used to be because of how pervasive technology has become.
Yeah,
I don't know if pervasive is the right word. I think it is.
It probably is. It's one of them.
Yeah.
It's a word.
Word.
Yeah. Nice. No, I agree with you. I think message wise, it looks really like wholesome, and you just don't. I don't see a lot of like family movies nowadays that are live action. Any family movies nowadays that I can think of, like recently, are typically animated, or at least animated first and then get a live action remake.
We should do a animated version of this movie.
That would be awesome.
After it comes out.
Man, that would be cool. You'll never see that.
Yeah.
You'll never see that. Only the other way around. Which is funny because it would make almost more sense to do an animated remake of something because you can do more in animation than you can with like real stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, CG has kind of taken away most limitations, but it would look better when it's all animated versus just some of it. But yet you never see that. Instead, people are like, let's take this beautiful, whimsical, colorful, fun cartoon and put it in our boring, real, dull, muted world. And not even shoot it like on set or anything. We'll just put a big old blue or green screen behind these people and basically animate it again.
I was just about to say.
Just basically animate the movie again, but worse.
Yeah.
And take the songs out. I don't want those
live
songs.
action, but it's animated live action.
Here, walk with me, okay? It's animated poorly. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to.
In case you guys can't tell, Chris is a big fan of the live action remakes.
I can't believe I can't believe Moana's still happening, and they went ahead and announced they are moving forward with the Hercules one.
Hercules probably makes the most sense of any of them.
Look, I was on board when they did Cinderella.
Yeah,
when they did Beauty and the Beast. A couple of these to me, I'm like, I can see it. And Hercules is one where some years ago, I was really on board with it. I think with the right cast, that would be a really cool, fun movie. But they've lost my trust.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
At this point, I don't trust that it's going to be good. And what they were saying when they were confirming they're moving forward with it is that I guess at some point, the live action remake was going to be it was going to be a Hercules live action movie, but it had a more Hades focused storyline. Like it changed a lot from the movie to make it more, but now they've come out and said that they're moving forward with it and it's going to be a more, what's the word? Whatever they say, like a more true to the original, like it'll be an actual 1-for-1 adaptation of the movie. So,
kind of pointless.
Yeah, I mean, that's the argument.
What would have made sense with this is if they had just picked like 2 or 3 really good ones to do and done it on like an anniversary or something.
Yeah.
As like, hey, we're just celebrating that these movies have been.
Yeah.
Instead of like trying to make it a whole thing that you're selling, you're just pushing out garbage at this point.
At this point, it's become so obvious that they want to just do it to all their movies, even ones that don't need it. Like I told you, Lady and the Tramp had a straight to Disney Plus exclusive when Disney Plus dropped, and you didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you weren't the only one.
Yeah.
Not all of them need it. Not all of them need it. They don't all deserve it. And that's kind of the argument I've always had is like, if you're doing a 1-for-1, then what's the point? You already have that movie.
Right.
And if you're going to change it, then what's the point? Because you're not remaking that movie. You're making a new movie. So I don't know. I can't find any more an argument to justify their existence. And
you mean Disney?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, because Marvel.
yeah.
But
Disney's done a great job with Marvel. Well, for the most part.
For the most part.
They've had their flops, but
my goodness, sorry, y'all.
yeah, it's really getting annoying. No, I'm just kidding.
Daniel being our audience surrogate, as always.
Man of the people. This is why they listen to me.
Yeah.
This is why I've changed all their opinions on everything.
Yeah. But yeah, so all in all, that looks like one you're gonna try and check out, I'm guessing.
Probably not in theaters, but
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
dude, I'm broke. No one listens to this podcast.
Oh my god. Not that we're like begging for money, but we could use it, that's all.
I mean, I do like food.
Well, me too. Yeah, no, I'm messing
What
with
about you?
If you were gonna go, I'd go with you. I don't think that's one
When does it come out? I don't remember.
it just said coming soon.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming probably next year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did say in 2026, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to say it couldn't grow on me. And a lot of times a second trailer like shows stuff that I'm like, okay. But based solely on that one trailer, nah. I mean, like I said, not unless you were going to go and it was going to be something we talk about.
But it's not like you think it's going to be bad. It's just not your thing.
Right. No, it looks fine. Like I said, I think it's cool that we're getting a live action for the most part, like original story, family friendly, like fantasy adventure. I think that's cool. But yeah, like for me, it didn't really like it didn't grab me. It didn't grab me. Which is fine. I mean, not every movie needs to or has to. It's probably good that they don't.
Yeah, I mean,
then I really would be broke.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm like, I got to go see that in theaters. It's just more like, oh, that looks fun. That's cool. I appreciate that they're putting that out. It looks like a lot of fun.
See, for me, I guess where I come from with it is like, anytime I see, especially something original like that, that you're not going to see a lot of typically, I feel like I have to go see it in theaters. It's like Wake Up Dead Man, which I didn't get to see in theaters. Yeah, I know.
I'm so sorry, Chris. When does it come out for streaming?
I think a week from today.
Man, that's a shame. What platform? Do you know?
Netflix.
Darn.
Well, I was actually going to see if you wanted to come over and watch it.
Oh.
And then we talk about it.
Oh.
On the 19th.
Oh.
We could talk about that the same episode we talk about the Doomsday trailer. We'll have all kinds of goodies.
Oh my
to
gosh,
talk about.
we'll have to split it into 6 episodes.
I know. I've heard really good things though. Like from people who got to go see it. A lot of people are saying it's better than Glass Onion, and some people are saying it might be better than Knives Out. So I'm very intrigued.
I thought Glass Onion was pretty much on par with Knives Out.
As far as like as time has gone on, whole picture, like hindsight, I would agree. When I saw it, I definitely walked out of that theater being like, Knives Out was way better.
Really?
Knives Out was and probably still is by far my favorite. But Glass Onion is really fun. I have since gone back to rewatch it a couple times, and I'm like, nah, this is a really fun movie.
I think part of the reason, this is just my guess, is Knives Out was kind of a fresh take on that. Like, it was kind of new.
Yeah.
Like, we hadn't seen Murder Mystery in a while, and it was done in kind of a cool, unique way that it was a bit more of shock value. Like, whoa. Yeah.
Well,
so you're kind of getting the same thing again. It's less,
Oh, true. Also, Knives Out had just a vibe about it, like with the big mansion, and it just looks cold and damp, and everyone's wearing the big sweaters and coats, and it's very wintry, and it came out right around that time of year, so it just fit that time of year, and like you said, it was so unexpected. It was such like a sleeper hit, that it would be hard to like completely replicate that feeling. But Glass Onion, I still had a really good time with, and have since come to really appreciate a lot of the details and stuff that they put in that movie. Like, once you know the mystery of that movie, you can go back and watch it and look for specific things to happen, and they put it right there on camera. right there in your face. But they distract you so
You're like,
well.
get it off!
You're like, oh my gosh. They distract you so well, even knowing what you're looking for. You blink, you'll miss it. And I just thought that was really, really cool how Rian Johnson did that. And I'm looking forward to the next adventure with that.
All right.
So yeah, next episode is going to be really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Really fun. And I hope we can find time for you to come over in between when it comes out and us recording for us to watch that, because that'd be really cool. But nextly, unless you have anything else you wanted to say on the trailer.
No.
I don't remember who said this. It's been going around social media, and it was I want to say it was a director or something. It's someone involved in movies. Who
Quentin Tarantino.
That was it. Your favorite. Basically said that the concept of a movie star is done. It's dead. Movie stars don't exist. The idea that, like, back in the day, you know, in the, like, especially in like the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, that you would have a name carry a movie alone. Like, it didn't matter the concept or the genre or whatever, but just having that name would carry a movie is done. And that nowadays the characters are the stars. Like, the specific example that was used in the thing I'm talking about is he was saying that Chris Evans is not a movie star. He's not an A-list movie star that could sell any movie on his own. Captain America is a movie star. People don't go to the Marvel movies to see Chris Evans. They go to see Captain America. And before I say anything else, that's just me laying out the idea. I kind of want to hear your initial thoughts on that.
I'll take it a step further, and I'll say the age of the celebrity is dying. So I pretty much agree with that. I think there's some exceptions, like Tom Cruise, for instance. But part of the reason he's the exception is because he was around when movie stars were. He came up as a movie star.
To be fair, I think that guy even said something about, like, making an exception for Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I think.
Wow, that's funny if he specifically listed Tom Cruise.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's 100% true. But I would, like I said, I'll take it a step further. Like, musicians, again, Taylor Swift might be the only. Well, then it's just Sabrina Carpenter, but even she kind of got her rise as the musician star. Like, it all started with the Beatles. When it comes to, I really think the Beatles kind of they were like the catalyst for the celebrity, quote unquote, like TM, you know. Because people just went absolutely nuts over them. And I remember when I was growing up, like the Backstreet Boys, when I was really little, like, just people were swarming their tour buses and, like, trying to get in, and, like, it was just absolute craziness. And, like,
right.
The same, Justin Bieber was similar, but it was a little less like that. And then One Direction was similar, but it slowly, and I think there's a few reasons for this. The first and biggest reason, I think, is social media, because it gave so many people platforms where they wouldn't have had it earlier. Like, it got rid of their barriers to entry, which made the market for creative stuff in the arts way oversaturated is the wrong word, but way more saturated. And it became more common for these little pockets of communities to kind of have their own celebrities within them. So it's not like this global, like music, for instance, there's way more people making money doing music now that you would never even know of unless you're in that little niche.
Yeah.
And even NF, like, you know, he's a hip hop guy and he's really big. He sells out places, but he's not even there's no craze about him. He's not like what Eminem was when Eminem got, you know, super popular.
Right.
I think he's just as liked by his fans. He has just as much influence.
Well, he's got a rabid fan base.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, quick tangent. Did you hear his newest little project? There's like 4 or 5 songs.
No.
Fear.
I've been waiting for him to come out with new stuff.
He put out a little, like, EP a couple weeks ago called Fear.
Is it good?
I only like one song on it.
Oh, no.
But to clarify, because if any NF fans are listening, I don't want to. I know y'all are a passionate bunch. I love NF. I can appreciate the other 4 or 5 songs on it, but they're not like what there's only like one rap song on it. The other like 4 or 5 songs are kind of like heavy, emotional, deep, kind of sad songs, and I wasn't looking for that.
That's kind of on par with NF.
It is, but he usually sprinkles those in amongst the hip hop stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And in this one, he like has the one track where he raps, and then everything else is kind of sing-songy and heavy. Even, I mean, he kind of raps on another song or two, but like it's not like his normal thing. But it's still really good stuff. I was just curious if you had heard it.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I think that's pretty much to me the whole celebrity. There's still people that are famous, but I even think that another thing about social media that's made this feel less crazy is because celebrities are interacting with their fans online on a regular basis to the point where it feels less shocking when you see them in person. It's still shocking, but it's like, think about the Backstreet Boys. Like when I was like, you would never talk to them, see them. If you got like a backstage pass, that was like you were super wealthy or you got really lucky or won some contest. And it's like, oh my gosh, I met this guy. But this is like people pay stuff on Patreon or whatever. Like, even people as big as Chris Evans, they have social media where they're like posting and commenting, and the celebrities will like your comments. Like it's happened to me a bunch,
Sweet brag.
I mean, it happens to everyone, maybe not everyone, but like it's way more common than it used to be is my point. For like the average Joe to get noticed by a celebrity online because we're on our phones all the time. And so I think that's kind of made celebrities feel a little bit more down to earth, like on the same level as us. But I don't know. Those are my 2 cents. And I do agree that statement is actually, I never would have worded it that way, but that's very true. Because if we know that if another actor was hired to play Captain America, we'd be like, well, we got to see his take on it,
Yeah. So I'm so glad. I'm so happy that we finally disagree on something. Because it's been a while since we've had like a good debate on here.
It's been a while.
I completely disagree with this sentiment.
Oh boy.
So for starters, I think it is the lamest thing that he used Captain America and Chris Evans as his example for a couple reasons. One, you're talking about a guy who's Chris Evans is maybe 40, 45 at the most. He's not 50. There's no way.
I have no idea how old he is.
Of course, I don't know. He played Johnny Storm in the first Fantastic Four. That came out in like 2000 or 01. And he was like 20 then. Well, I don't know. I don't think he's 50. I don't think he's even 50. So you're talking about a guy who's not even 50 playing a character who's been around since the 50s, if not before. Of course that character is bigger than that actor. Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't be a relevant character. He wouldn't be getting a movie about him anyway in the first place. And I say that for any actor playing any superhero, period.
What about Tom Cruise playing Iron Man? You think Iron Man would be more popular than Tom Cruise still?
So here's my remark to that. Tom Cruise, as that guy said, is a bit of an exception to just about any rule. I don't think he's the only one, and I'm going to get to that point in a minute, but
I agree with that.
He is a bit of an exception to that rule. However, as we know, Tom Cruise ended up not getting that role, and yet Iron Man is one of like the biggest pop culture icons currently because of what RDJ did with him.
Yeah, but I still think that serves the other guy's point. It's like the character is who they were interested in.
But my point is, that's why it's lame that you pick, like, how do I put this? What's I'm trying to think of like a good solid example. Tom Cruise in Top Gun. What's his character's name?
Maverick.
Okay. He didn't pick Tom Cruise and playing Maverick. You know, he didn't pick.
Yeah, but that's because that came out in the 80s when that was the thing that he's saying doesn't exist anymore did exist.
Okay, more recent. Keanu Reeves, pretty big actor. He didn't pick Keanu Reeves and Neo from the Matrix.
Again, that came out in the 2000s. That's when that was still a thing.
But I'm okay. Chris Evans in Knives Out playing Hugh.
Yeah.
So you're not going to the theater to see Hugh. You're going to the theater to see Chris Evans. Like that's my point. And here's another Chris Evans example that's even more recent. When Free Guy came out, which isn't even a Chris Evans movie, when he cameoed in that one little cameo became more of a big deal on the internet than the movie. It overshined the whole movie that he cameoed in that.
I haven't even heard of this movie.
Free Guy is a Ryan Reynolds movie where he plays a character in a video game who gains sentience. And at one point in the movie, the guy who like made the game or whatever, he's the bad guy, and he's trying to kill this character because he's going to ruin his whole plot, plan, scheme, whatever. And he sends a guy after him in the game to fight him and kill him. And at one point, the guy goes to like punch him, and Ryan Reynolds like holds up the Captain America shield. And you're like, wait, what? Because no one expected to see that because it's Disney IP. And they really played on it. And then it cuts to like the real world where Chris Evans is sitting in like a cafe because everyone in the world is watching this unfold on like the TVs and their phones and stuff. It cuts to him like sitting in a cafe and he like spits his food out. He's like, what the heck? Like he gets, and that's it. That's the cameo. He just.
Yeah, but you just made that guy's point for him because they had to tie in Captain America.
No, if it had just been the Shield, that would not have been a big deal. It's the fact that they cut to Chris Evans in real life.
Because he plays Captain America.
Right. But he wasn't Captain America in the movie. Like
sure.
The cameo wasn't a big deal because Captain America was in the movie. But
it was though. It's the guy who plays Captain America. I think that you're kind of missing his point. I don't think he's saying. I mean, Grant, I didn't hear this guy's point. I don't think he's saying that there aren't good actors out there that people want to go see just because they're in a movie.
That's not his point.
Like, of course, like if there's an actor that I like, yeah, I'm more interested to go see their take on it. But I think his point is like like I remember there was a time where if you got a certain actor in your movie, he would just sell the movie or she would sell the movie. Like Sandra Bullock was like the rom-com queen.
Yeah.
Like if she was in a rom-com, everyone was going to go see it.
Right.
Nowadays, that doesn't carry as much weight as it used to. You know, that's a little more modest way of putting it, but I think that's probably a way to sum it up.
I get that, and that is his point. But what I'm saying is I disagree because, first of all, I don't think you can say that. I don't think you can say the death of the movie star as a concept is real unless all the movie stars have died, because Sandra Bullock is still alive, and there are plenty of people who would still go see any movie she's in. Tom Cruise.
Yes, but
Brad Pitt.
They came around during that time, though. That's the point.
But that's just because it happened then doesn't mean that it doesn't happen now. Like, they're still here. They're still making movies. People still go see them. That One Battle After Another movie that Leonardo DiCaprio was in looked awful. It got listed as like one of the best movies of the year because of like how many people went and saw it because Leonardo DiCaprio was in it. No one cared about that movie. That trailer was terrible. I told you that when we went and watched Superman. I was like, I don't get what this movie's about.
Yeah.
And it kind of grew on me.
I didn't even know it was even out. But that movie's not that popular. It's not that big.
I bet you it made a lot of money.
Let's look up and see how much money it made.
So my point, while I'm looking that up, my point is, while those people are still alive and kicking and making movies that people will flock to go see because they're in it, I think you can't say
flock to go see, though, I think is an overstatement. People weren't flocking to go see that Leo DiCaprio movie. There are definitely still, it goes back to that point I was making, is that there's these subcultures now people in certain niches, and especially yourself who loves movies. I mean, we're in a podcast where we talk about movies and TV. Like, you're much more likely to go see something because of an actor that you like. But movies used to be a massive, massive thing that, like, were just I mean, like, you know, if a new movie was coming out, there was a handful of movies that came out that would come out that maybe not everyone would go see. But I remember at church on Sundays, like, it was so common to talk about the latest movie that came out. And, like, that's not really a thing anymore. It's more of like subsets of cultures and stuff, like these little pockets of influence. And, you know, let's, you know, to your example, it's definitely true that, you know, Sandra Bullock is still around, and if you put her in a movie, there's going to be people that go see it because Sandra Bullock is in it. I think that's a different thing than saying she carries the whole movie like how it used to be, but I'll give you that. But, like, let's take Tom Holland, for example, who's a relatively new actor who got his rise doing stuff way before Spider-Man. If you just put him in a movie, that's not going to carry the movie. Like Uncharted, for example. It had Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg in it. They did not carry that movie. I mean, I do think that having Tom Holland in it got more people interested than if it would have just been a no-name or something. But it's not the same as when, like, I'm trying to think of, like, movies that came out when, you know what? Here's a really good example, actually. James Bond. We're more in a James Bond era than we were before. No one has ever gone to, like, James Bond was like a perfect place for no names to get their start because people would go see who's the new James Bond because they were interested in the James Bond character because different actors have played him throughout the years. Yeah. And I feel like that's more common now with certain movies, you know.
Well, that's my point, and don't let me forget to tell you, you're right. That movie did not do that great. That's kind of my point, though, is when you pick an actor who's playing a character, who the character is naturally going to be bigger than any actor, not just the one playing them, but any actor. To me, Iron Man and Tom Cruise is kind of an unfair one because Iron Man was not like an A-list character before Robert Downey Jr. did what he did with him. At this point in time, it would be very easy for me to say, with how popular Iron Man is right now, yes, I think the character would be bigger than even Tom Cruise. But back when they were originally looking at it, it would have been a whole different story, very much so. But, like, Tom Cruise playing Spider-Man, yeah, Spider-Man is bigger than Tom Cruise. I mean, he just is. He's one of the most recognized characters in all of fiction across the world. So that's why I think it's kind of a lame thing. Like, your James Bond example is another good example. Like, the character, the IP of James Bond is bigger than one actor, which is why so many actors have played him. Whereas, like, Ethan Hunt, there's one Ethan Hunt. That's America's James Bond, is the Mission Impossible stuff, and there's been one. So, you know, that, and honestly, those movies are a huge reason Tom Cruise is as big as he is, because they were so groundbreaking and different, and he was such a maniac, you know, doing all this stuff himself, the stunts and whatever. They were just like shattering the boundaries of what an actor could do in a movie franchise. And
that's the power of Scientology.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. And middle teeth, or middle tooth. But
I agree with what you're saying. But I think you're missing his point.
Well, no, I get his point. I'm saying I think his example for his point is a bad example. And my counterpoint to his point is, if big names essentially don't matter because they don't carry the weight that they did, then why do movies like the Knives Out movies and all these other, what's the word, where you get like a group, I don't remember the word, but like a group cast of all these big names to meet together. Why do people still do it? Why not just always go for like the lesser known, still trying to make it? You know, there's a lot of talented, undiscovered actors and actresses that you could choose from.
Myself included.
Right. I mean, right here. But I mean, in all seriousness, like,
yeah, but I give you that. I don't granted, I have to hear what he's saying, because I might totally agree with you if I heard exactly what he said. But my perspective is, I don't think the point is that big names don't carry any weight at all. It definitely helps. Like I said, Uncharted, probably having Tom Holland in there helped. But that's a different thing than like in the 2000s and the 90s. Actors, like, people were obsessed with actors. Like, they would flock to those movies just because an actor was in it in like large numbers. It's like, I remember even hearing, did you see the new Johnny Depp movie? Like, that's how people would ask about it on like Sunday at church after a Saturday night. Did you see that new Tom Cruise movie? Or people don't talk about it anymore. They actually know the movie names and they tell you what it's about and stuff.
Well, and I mean, okay. So here's another piece to this also. Keep in mind, for one thing, let me start with this. I do think you're right about social media changing a lot of the vibe of the whole thing. It's made things just completely different. In a lot of ways, it's put the normal person on par with celebrities, because everyone treats their life like a celebrity life and acting like people want to know what they ate for dinner.
And sometimes that actually works and they become a celebrity.
Right. Well, and that's another thing I was about to get to. A lot of the new celebrities are internet influencers, TikTokers, streamers, people on Instagram who just made a living being either good looking or rich or both. And that in itself, it's kind of like it's the Steph Curry effect, right? Like, Steph Curry is like 6'2", 6'3", which is tall for like the average person, but it's small by NBA standards. So he might weigh like 200 pounds, maybe a little more. I mean, he's not huge. He's a smaller statured guy. So he was not going to be out there jumping over people, dunking on them, driving into the paint, moving bodies around to put the ball in the basket. So what did he do? He found a way to score outside on the perimeter. He changed the entire game of basketball. Like, there are literally people right now today talking about like how he ruined the game of basketball because of how good he is at shooting from the outside. He's opened the door to a whole new generation of kids who were never going to be the size they needed to be to play, who can now have a realistic shot to not only go to college off of it, but possibly the pros. Well, the bottom line is that's kind of what's happened with celebrity stuff with social media. Like, you've seen
and
enough
with Marvel.
Marvel too, but
well, see, it's interesting. Don't forget. I don't want to hear your point. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I want to say this before I forget. What you were just describing is actually a point I was going to make a second ago, which is, I think you're right about the fact that, like, because these comic book characters are so, like, they've already been huge for a long time, that's not a fair assessment. But at the same time, comic book movies are the big blockbuster movies now. There aren't really any other big blockbuster movies that come out.
Not as many. Yeah.
And I think the success of Marvel has played a role in changing the cinematic landscape in that time. So I think
I agree.
He is right in that people go to the movies for the characters more than the actors now. But that's partially because of what you described, which is, these beloved characters for so long were turned into this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, which dominated the cinematic world. And that's changed the game, just like Steph Curry changed the game of basketball. Like, I think that's the two aren't mutually exclusive.
Right. Now, I agree with you. I guess, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I know you told me not to forget what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying.
Good.
It's working. You're right, but I think even with that being the case, real quick while I'm thinking about it, because I'm about to look up another one. Since we were talking about it, I'll go ahead and put it out there. The One Battle After Another. It made over $200 million total, which is not bad, but it had a budget of, and this is kind of a big window, but I guess it's not 100% known, but apparently had a high production budget of around, at the lowest, 130, at the highest, possibly 175. So it only made anywhere from 25 to 70 million in profit. So that's not great by today's standards. But what I wanted to look at.
Yeah, take that versus like the Titanic,
Right. Well, and then this is what I wanted to see here. So no comic book characters, no affiliations, just names. Just a loaded cast. Ensemble is the word I was looking for earlier. Just an ensemble cast of big names.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even attribute this to like prior success, because not only was this the first one in the series, but also at the time, Rian Johnson was despised by moviegoers for what he did to Star Wars. The first Knives Out had a budget of $40 million, and it ended up making over $300 million.
Yes, but that doesn't help your point necessarily. I'm sure the ensemble cast helped. I mean,
for sure.
But I went and saw it. I had no idea who was in the movie. I had
you
just
saw
heard
it because of me.
Was it you who told me about it? Okay, well, yeah, but you didn't even tell me who the cast was. You just told me how great the story was.
Right. I had already seen it once and told you, but I'm saying, I guess what I'm saying is you're a bad example on that one. Like, I went and saw it because, yes, I love murder mysteries, but I thought it was going to be kind of scary, to be honest. And then when I saw Chris Evans was in it, and Ana de Armas, and Jamie Lee Curtis, and I mean, just the list goes, that whole cast was like notable except for like the younger kids. I was like, holy crap, like this is loaded. Like, Daniel Craig, I don't know how I put him in there, but
yeah.
I was like,
James
man,
Bond.
Yeah. To your point.
Yeah.
I guess that's my point, is like, there was nothing to go off of other than it's a murder mystery and it's a stack cast. And you and me are probably bad examples for it, because you went and saw it because I told you it was good, and I went and saw it half for the cast, but half because it was a murder mystery. But the general public, I don't think loves murder mysteries as much as I do, because if they did, there'd be a lot more of them. I mean, you see how studios are pumping out cinematic universes and comic book movies left and right. Not every murder mystery is as profitable as Knives Out was.
Yeah, but that's because Knives Out, like, everyone that I've heard talk about that movie talks about how good the movie was. Right. I haven't heard a single person be like, wow, that cast was great. And it was great. It's not that it doesn't matter. It's not that having big names in your ensemble doesn't count for anything. I'm sure that helps a lot, but the carrying force, the driving force behind movies is not the actor anymore. That's the point. I mean, back in the day too, like, if I were giving you an example about how people used to say, did you see the new Johnny Depp movie? Just having Johnny Depp alone wouldn't be, if the movie was absolute crap, people would say, yeah, don't go see that. It's a waste of time. And I remember having those kind of discussions too. Like, the story still mattered a whole lot, but the difference is the driving force behind it was usually the actor. Now it's less like that. It's the characters, it's the story, it's the uniqueness to it, it's the take that people are going to have on it.
Well, I think, again, we're looking at an effect of, over time, movies in general, art in general, we've moved into an era where everyone's a critic, and that is,
and everyone's an artist
at its that also. And that has never been at a more literal point than right now. Like, yeah. Everybody is a critic. Everything gets critiqued. That's why you have YouTubers who have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, critique, like, their whole thing is they critique movies. That's why you have guys like us sitting here doing a podcast where we talk about movies. Like, who are we? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that is the whole point. But my thing is that makes it harder for movies. Back in the day, you could rely on a name and probably a not great script or, plot or whatever else, or even good acting from that name, and put out a movie that would be serviceable in the box office. Probably wouldn't blow anyone away, but it would be serviceable. And I think that's what made some of these names we're talking about such a big deal in the long run, was that not only were they good leading men and women, but they picked good scripts also. Like, you think about like a Tom Hanks, every movie he did for the most part, people gawk over. Leonardo DiCaprio, Sandra Bullock. I mean, not that they're for me, but like you said, the rom-com queen, the romance movie queen, like people who like those probably loved every movie she was in her prime. One that hits closer to home for you, Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he had a miss in his prime.
No.
I mean,
well, the Cable Guy was kind of a flop.
Okay, I mean, he took a little bit of a step outside his normal thing. But even now, that movie has more of a cult following today than it probably did back then.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying is like, I think over time, and Jim Carrey is actually a great example because I guarantee, and I know your point's going to be he's from that time, and that's fine. But my point is, if you found out like today that there was a new Jim Carrey lead comedy coming out, everyone would go see it. I don't care what the premise is. I'm not even saying if it was a new Ace Ventura or whatever, just a new comedy movie, fresh take, new idea, new script, but Jim Carrey's the leading man. That movie would blow up.
Only if Jim Carrey shows promise in the trailer that he's the old same Jim Carrey. Because a lot of his latter comedies didn't do so well. He kind of lost his fizzle.
I agree.
No, wait, he fizzled out.
He lost his fizzle. I agree, but to be honest with you, comedies in general did that around that time. If you know, think about like when we were in like high school or middle school, there were comedies coming out all year. They don't come out at all anymore, really.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
shame.
The last one I remember going and watching and really enjoying was Tag. And since then, I know there's been a couple. There was that weird one with Jennifer Lawrence, the No Hard Feelings.
Oh, yeah.
That one was...
No, that was Sydney Sweeney. No Hard Feelings? No. Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell did one.
Yeah, that was like a rom-com.
I forget the name of that one, though.
I don't remember. Oh, Anyone But You.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyone But You.
And then No
Hard
Hard
Feelings. That one
Feelings.
was kind of cute. No Hard Feelings, I did watch it. I felt weird at the end. I felt weird
watching the trailer. I didn't watch either of those because the trailer was like, jeez.
Well, you know what, though? The reason I enjoyed the trailer was because I was like, wow, we could still make comedies like this? Like, what? No one told me?
Yeah.
Like, I was impressed that a studio was going to take a chance and put out like a raunchy comedy. Like, that never happens anymore. And,
raunchy comedies?
Yeah.
They happen all the time. They're just on Netflix and stuff. They're just not coming out in theaters.
That's my point, though.
The reason that I didn't like them is because I'm like, just more raunchy comedies. Like, can't we have comedies like Bruce Almighty again? Where it's like, there's a little bit of inappropriate stuff, but for the most part, it's fairly wholesome.
Well, that's kind of the thing, though. That's what I'm saying. Those movies started not doing that well. So the ones that performed
they
best,
just stopped making them.
The ones that, because money, they don't stop doing things that make them money.
Dude, I highly doubt that if you put out Nate Bargatze is a great example. This will be the test of it because he just started doing a new movie. I think they've wrapped filming and everything. It's called The Breadwinner. And his whole thing is like, I want to do more family-friendly, wholesome comedy movies that you can take your whole family to. They're still adult, like they're still going to be funny, but like family-friendly is kind of the wrong word. Like it's comedy for adults, but it's not raunchy or inappropriate. And he's going to be putting out that movie. And I agree with him. He says that he thinks the reason that nobody goes to see them is nobody's making that stuff anymore.
I mean, that's true too.
There's a huge audience for it.
You can't go see what's not there.
And Nate Bargatze's success just as a stand-up comedian, I think, is a testament to that because he's clean.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Gaffigan was doing it around the same time, if not before. I think he's older than Nate.
Oh, way before, yeah.
And
he was around close to Seinfeld era.
He's always been mostly clean. I mean, he has a little something here and there, but he's always been pretty clean, and he's been very successful.
Sure.
But I guess what studios started to see was that rated R comedies were doing better than the family ones. And I mean, I remember.
I don't think that was the case.
Dude, I just can't picture Hollywood being like, look, this is making us a lot of money, but we're just going to have to stop doing it.
I can, because they do things all the time that they lose money on and don't care. A perfect example is the live action remakes.
Right, but that's more Disney push than
but it's Hollywood. Hollywood I think a lot of times Hollywood gets in this bubble where they think the whole world is like they are, and they don't pay attention as much to the numbers, and so they just kind of want to push what they want to do instead of
And
thinking about.
I don't know if they've lost money on any of those live actions yet.
Well, maybe not lost money, but they're not doing well. Nobody's
No,
asking for them.
Well, I honestly, they're doing more well than you or I would probably like to admit. That's the sad thing. They are doing well. I don't know how or why, because everyone
Then
complains
if
about
those
them.
do well, you can't convince me then that a nice, wholesome comedy with even most of Jim Carrey's comedies are like relatively clean.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some inappropriate stuff here and there, but like they're not raunchy, they're not filthy.
Look,
and
I
like,
agree with. I would
people-
love it.
Yeah,
Naked Gun.
those are a little more inappropriate.
No, I'm saying Naked Gun is one that came out more recently that I think.
Oh, the recent one.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Liam Neeson. Again, I think it's more adult based, but I don't think it's rated R. I don't think.
Maybe not, but I saw some clips on Twitter and I was like, "Oh, that's filthy." It made me want to not watch the movie.
Well,
it was pretty raunchy.
To be fair, from the stuff, I don't know which specific parts you're talking about, but there were some things I saw that were like very like insinuative, if that's a word, I mean. But like it was no different than like the Austin Powers movies. And
Yeah,
stuff.
but the Austin Powers ones were pretty raunchy.
But they're not like rated R. Like there's nothing.
That's
like,
fair. They're not rated R.
Like,
but they almost should be.
Well,
there's some. I mean, they don't show anything, but there's some heavy innuendo in the Austin Powers. And don't get me wrong, Austin Powers is hilarious, but even those jokes took it too far for me. I'm like, God, that's so filthy.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the thing where they're getting caught by the guards on that island and they're in the tent.
Oh yeah, well, that's what I saw from the Naked Gun. They just basically stole that bit.
Yeah, where she's cleaning the oven or whatever.
Yeah.
Look, it's awful.
This is a great segue into our office comedy discussion.
Yes,
that's what's next, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're moving into. I guess
I'm really excited to hear your thoughts. I'm a little scared.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh God, I'm so scared that you're gonna.
I don't love where that discussion ended for. Death of this movie celebrity, but anyway.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's what we were even talking about.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say on it?
I mean, all in all, I just.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. My final thing on it is basically, I can agree it's different now. I think his example is lame. You picked, first of all, a Marvel, like one of the like it wasn't even one of the newer Marvel, like Shang-Chi versus Simu Liu or something like that. Like you picked one of the OG Avengers that sparked, like you said, what changed the movie industry as we know it today. And a character that's arguably been one of Marvel's like faces of Marvel since like the 30s, 40s, 50s, something like that. At least the 40s, because he's a war character. He's been around for almost 100 years versus an actor who's not even 50.
Do you think you would have had a different perspective if he had used that as an example to show how it's changed? Not saying this is an example that it's changed, but this is an example of when things started to shift. Because a big name celebrity chose a character that's been beloved for so long, and then Marvel got so successful and took over the industry, that started to shift it into this area of caring more about the characters than the actor.
I think that the way you explained it and it's kind of what you're saying now is better than what he said, but it's still similar. I guess my problem is the example he's using. Like, there's a reason he didn't pick Chris Evans in Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is a Marvel movie. He played a pretty well-known superhero that's been around for a long time, but no one's talking about that. I mean, there's a reason he picked Captain America. Like, and it's kind of it's a layup. It's kind of easy. But anyway, I agree with you. I think you kind of worded it best by saying that Marvel kind of changed the way it all is.
And social media.
And social media had a huge part in it. I still think that people go see movies for names. And it's hard for me because I'm biased. Like I've told you, Ryan Gosling's in it. I want to see it.
Yeah. But you're part of that niche. Like you are a movie fanatic. And I'm the same way. I want to go see it if there's a certain actor. Like if you were talking about Jim Carrey. Yeah, I would be going to see a comedy with Jim Carrey in it. Of course I would. But my whole point is that the game has changed to where it's these pockets. It's like these little niches where people on a broad scale aren't as interested in anymore as they used to be.
So I guess on that note, let's take our quick break here. Are we at about an hour? A little over?
A little over.
Okay. Let's take a quick break here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk workplace comedies.
Oh boy, I'm so excited. Get the children! We're gonna go to the back door! Oh gosh.
Oh, Will Ferrell.
All right, we're front.
There was a time people would go see movies just because of him too.
Yeah, that's a shame. It's true, but it's a shame.
You don't like Will Ferrell?
He's overrated
now, but
even in his prime, he was funny in Anchorman. He was funny in Semi-Pro. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Nah.
But his movies are usually funny in spite of him. Like he has some lines that are funny, but Will Ferrell he's a subpar, like middle of the road kind of comedian.
So you didn't like Kicking and Screaming or Talladega Nights?
I liked
Elf.
I liked definitely Elf. Yeah, I mean I liked all those movies. I'm not saying he's bad. He's just overrated. He's not really. He's no Steve Carell. He's no Jim Carrey. He's no I think a lot of times people give him. Like people think of him that way. It's like,
well, to be fair, I mean, you go back and watch him on SNL and stuff. He is Steve Carell level as far as his ad-libbing and stuff. But I think that he's another where over time his shtick got old.
Sure.
He's like Kevin Hart to me or The Rock. They always play the same character. Will Ferrell was the same way before them. He did it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
even in some ways, Jim Carrey was like that.
I was just about to say, you're going to hate me, but Jim Carrey kind of did that too. And I think that played a part in why he tried to step out to these crazy extremes of doing he did that horror movie once. And he did
Number 23.
We just talked about Cable Guy, trying different things, but none of them ever worked as well as him doing the Ace Venturas and even the Grinch.
The Grinch was great.
Dumb and Dumber, things like that.
But he did have some really good dramatic. He was a good dramatic actor too. I mean,
I believe it.
Have you seen The Truman Show?
Truman Show. I've seen a good bit of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
That's a great movie.
Yeah,
that's an awesome movie.
I will give him that. He did that. I think people would call a classic.
Yeah,
I think people would give him that's one of his best.
The Majestic. He did really well in that one.
I haven't seen that one. I haven't even heard of that. I don't think
most people haven't. It's a good Jim Carrey film though.
Okay.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I have heard of that one. I don't know anything about it though.
It's pretty good in that one. I thought he was a great dramatic actor.
Scary or sad?
No, it's a little sad. It's a little sad, but it has a pretty happy ending. It's a really interesting idea.
Have you watched Number 23?
Mm-hmm.
You have?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was obsessed with Jim Carrey at one point in my life to where I was like, even if he does horror, I'm going to check it out. But it actually wasn't even horror. It wasn't even that. It was more like thriller, suspense.
What's the premise of that?
It was kind of a silly premise. He did a good job as an actor, but it's this idea that the number 23 is a curse, and if you find out that it shows up in your life, you'll obsess over it and see it over everything. So he starts adding up the letters of his name, and it equals 23, and he starts seeing the number 23 everywhere, and then it's got a little bit of a twist ending, and it's okay. It's a okay movie. It's if you're bored one day, might throw it on, might entertain you for a little bit, but nothing super special.
Well,
but what I was one more thing before.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I was going to say is Jim Carrey did that. He was kind of the same person in but it was so unique and rare that he pulled it off for a longer time than anyone else did.
It was much harder to emulate. I mean, still to this day, no one's been able to replicate what he did.
Yeah.
His unique style of just that combination of physical, facial, and vocal comedy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything like it.
The pin is blue.
Oh, man.
My favorite scene in that movie. He's like got his leg on his arm. Write it! Okay. Moving on.
Yeah. All right. The time Daniel's all been waiting for. Oh, did you want to restart that just in case?
Oh, good call.
Just since we're a little over and we took a break. Okay. So we're gonna have like an old-fashioned standoff here. We're gonna be talking workplace sitcoms, the OG Papa Bear, The Office. It's, like I said earlier, its actual successor, The Paper. I say successor, sequel, spinoff. I don't know how you would word that.
Spinoff.
And then kind of a spiritual successor in St. Dennis Medical.
What about Parks and Rec? Are we including that?
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about it last night when I was watching, kind of finishing up watching the first season of St. Dennis. And I was like, you know, people are going to get really upset that we're not doing Parks and Rec, but I've never seen it. And I didn't have time to watch St. Dennis, The Paper, and Parks and Rec.
That's shocking that you've never seen it.
That's
where Chris Pratt got his start.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a good bit of the first season. I did not love it. So I'll throw this out there. We're not going to include this in the actual debate because it's not fair. I mean, if you want to speak on it some, you can, if you've seen it and enjoy it. I'm not a big Amy Poehler guy.
Oh, yeah, me neither.
So her being the lead of that show already kind of killed it.
Dude, I hate Leslie, her character.
And then I loved Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. Aziz Ansari is funny, but from what I saw of the first season, his character doesn't have a lot to do, doesn't shine that much.
That changes a lot as the seasons go on.
I figured it would because I know he kind of got his start from there, so I would assume his role grew. Chris Pratt in the first season, again, from what I saw, strictly kind of delegated as a side character. Every now and then you get a dumb remark, but he's pretty much a bum in the first season who cheats on his wife or girlfriend or whatever. So it's
did you get to the part where he's in the pool and he has to chase her down the street?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he gets to be the funniest character in him and Ron Swanson are the funniest characters in that show.
I can believe it. To this day, even though I've never seen that show, one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen a clip of is Ron being at a diner and ordering the like meat platter or something, and the waiter kind of like looking at him like worried almost. He's like, "Sir, that's a family platter." And he's like, "I know what I'm about, son."
Yeah.
I just think that's hilarious. Like,
yeah.
So never really took the time to sit down and watch it. I might do that one day for this show if that's something we want to talk about. It would have been good if I would have had the time to include it in this, but
dude, I'm shocked you watched the whole season of The Paper and St. Dennis Medical. I only watched the first episode of St. Dennis.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's going to
I thought that's all we were going to do.
That's going to really change this debate.
Yeah, I think so. And the fact that you're calling it a debate scares me because that tells me you probably disagree with me.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know what your like exact take. I know you were saying you really enjoyed The Paper.
Yeah.
I liked The Paper. It was fine. I don't really have I wouldn't say I have an issue with it. I have gripes, but I wouldn't say I have like an issue with it. It's a good show, and I will be checking out the second season. But St. Dennis is way better. It's way better. Now, some of that.
What? Oh my gosh.
Some of that.
Oh, that is not. I thought we were going to be talking about whether The Office was better, which is a reasonable debate.
It is also part of it too. Is I don't know if either of them can.
That first episode was horrible.
Well, this is why I said this is going to change the whole thing because
I couldn't even watch the second one. I was like, this is terrible.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So
I can't look at you right now.
I was gonna tell you that I'm not going to judge the paper too harshly because I don't think you can judge any show completely on its first season, but you're judging St. Dennis on its first episode. So now I feel like I have to go a little harder on the paper. I have to,
gosh, dude.
I was trying to come at this in a more fair way, but now I feel like I have to play devil's advocate here.
But it just shocks me that you use this way better. The St. Dennis is way better. That was like the first episode of the paper was way better than the first episode of St. Dennis by like a long shot.
Nah, I disagree.
Oh my gosh, dude. What I was going to tell you is everything that everyone critiqued about the paper, I felt was true about St. Dennis, where it's like they're trying to repeat The Office. Oh, this is the Michael character. This is that character. But the jokes just were so flat. Like none of them landed. There was only one funny part, and that was when he was on the intercom, and he was like, am I supposed to do it? And everyone like looked up, and he's on the intercom. You know what I'm talking about? In the first episode, the lady faints, and they're trying to revive him, and the new guy who's dumb, they're like, can you get on the intercom and say we have a code blue? And then he's like, okay, intercom, yeah. And he picks it up, and he says, am I supposed to push a button or something? And that's coming on the intercom. You don't remember that scene?
I watched the first episode like a while back,
and
then started on the second episode and continued.
That was the only part where I genuinely laughed. The rest of it felt like the jokes felt so like forced, and I despised. What's funny is the main head lady is the concierge in The Office in the Canada when they go to Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to rewatch that now. That's funny. Which I'll probably be on an Office kick now anyway because I restarted it.
There you go. She was obviously trying to be a female Michael to the point where it was like, and it just didn't work. And yeah. All of it. It just felt super flat to me. I was like, this is bad.
So here's let's start here since we're talking kind of broad characterization. What I like about St. Dennis that I cannot stand about the paper is that you know who the St. Dennis characters are after a couple episodes. The paper's first season is like 10 episodes. Within 10 episodes, you definitely know who they are. Like, you've even gotten some insights to like some second layer stuff, like under the surface level things with some of these characters 10 episodes in. Now, here, where I was going to be fair, is that St. Dennis's first season is like almost twice the length of the papers. But if you only watched the first episode and hated it, then I feel like that doesn't have to come into play. So I'll just speak on the whole season as a whole and say the length doesn't matter. But the bottom line is the paper, I'm not going to say it has no idea what it wants to be or who it wants these characters to be, but they're all over the place. They're all over the place. And not all of them.
I did not get that vibe at all.
Not all of them. And to be honest with you, the characters I liked the most from the paper were the ones that were the most consistent tonally. So for example, gosh, what's her name? The crazy Italian lady.
Esmeralda.
She is very annoying, but she is at least consistent. And some of the parts where I ended up actually laughing in that show were because of her and the British dude who is a complete moron. I don't like his character at all. He's just like all the slimy bits, like where she at least might have some redeeming qualities as time goes on. He is like all the worst parts of her embodied in another character to like egg her on. I hate him. She is at least consistent in everything's about me, which is kind of, that can be funny. And there are funny moments. I will say.
Did you laugh at the part when her son was doing the audition?
I think you're about to say the exact thing.
And she was like, "Ooh,
there's a lightning storm." Like that, I genuinely laughed. In the last episode, when she's up on stage, derailing the whole thing, singing "You're dead, reporters, you're dead." Genuinely laughed.
What about when he's trying to get there and he's crawling out from under the table? Claire and I were like in tears.
Oh, you talking about the Ned?
Yeah.
When he's trying to get up on stage?
Yeah.
No.
You didn't laugh at that?
So here's probably going to be our biggest point of...
Oh my gosh, dude.
I don't like Ned.
Oh my gosh.
I was looking...
I can't do this podcast anymore.
I was looking for it the whole time. You were talking about how endearing he is and this and that. Ned is a baby. He is a giant baby. I do not like him. He is not... They either should have leaned completely Michael Scott with him and had him be like kind of nutty, but like competent under it, or should have had him be completely like the Jim of the whole show and be like the straight man to everyone else's wackiness. And like, he's kind of the audience surrogate, how Jim was in a lot of the early seasons of The Office. He's like the one realistic character there, kind of always looking at the camera like, are you guys seeing this? Even though he's part of the show. Like, he should have been one of the... But they play him both ways too much. Like when they put him up against, like, Esmeralda, who's, like, way up here, they, like, tone him down, where it's like he can't believe a human being is acting like this. But then when they put him with, like, Mare, he's, like, having meltdowns over the dumbest things, and, like... And like, the thing of him like calling the morgue, like looking for bodies and stuff, like it just...
You said that was funny when I told you that
the
joke.
way you told it to me was, and I had no context for him as a character around it, and that would have been a funny moment if he was like a Michael Scott type who's a complete idiot. But they play him like a complete idiot.
No, I don't think they play him like an idiot. He's so passionate about the paper that Esmeralda screwed him, and he's like, this is my job. Everything's on. So he starts panicking, and he just does what, like, as he's going off the cuff, trying to figure out some kind of solution.
I get that.
I thought his character was completely consistent.
Here's the other thing too, on that note of this is my job and everything's reliant on this. Another very inconsistent thing about that show. On the one hand, this is like supposed to be a huge deal where like I'm supposed to believe they're gonna fire him, close down the paper, and all this other stuff if he doesn't get a good enough like set of stories to run for that paper. But on the other hand, they're putting no money into this as a company. Most everyone who's working for the paper is a volunteer. They're actually working for softies for the most part. And they've made it very clear throughout the whole show. Like one of the first things they say is that they sell something, toilet paper, something else, and then the newspaper in order of quality. Like, the company doesn't value the truth teller at this point in time at all. So it's like, okay, I don't think it's that big a deal if you don't get stories to run right now. You're not a big paper. No one like...
But Ned cares about it so much.
Right, I get the passion part. That part I get. But the part about you being like, everything's relying on it, really.
Yeah, because of him. Because this is everything to him. Like everything, this is his chance, his opportunity.
Again, though, I guess this is what I'm saying, and maybe this is a little too nitpicky, but you got to make it make sense. Like if he's smart,
too nitpicky.
If he's smart, then he should know. Okay, we got a little time to get this thing up and running. It's like he comes into this completely rundown paper that's not really even a paper when he gets there. It's more of a website. They even talk about how like they don't really do the physical format that much anymore, and they rely on like all the ad rev and everything from the website, which is why Esmeralda's so mad at him, because he wants to basically cut the website and strictly go back to a paper format. And he knows all this going in, and then he's like, oh my gosh, like if I don't have a paper, they're gonna like, no one cares, man. Like it's cool, like you got time.
But it's internally consistent is the thing. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that he's dumb, but he's not like super smart either. I think he's very emotional. He feels a lot, and he's very passionate about this new job. This is his time to shine. You know, he gets to do journalism, and like he's flipping out because Esmeralda screwed him, and like that's completely, people act that way all the time when like you're so caught up in it that you're not really thinking logically about like you got time, you can chill out. And that's where Mayor kind of like is supposed to like level him out. But I don't know, man. To hear you say you hate Ned, that's so sad.
Yeah.
He's my favorite. I love his character.
Yeah, I don't think he did anything that made me laugh. I'm trying to think. I don't think he did. Is there anything specific you can think of that
Well,
was like
that thing I just told you when he's trying to get out to get on stage and he's like
right?
crawling
But
from under the table.
other than that, though, I mean,
When he said, "Marv, I love you," to the whole office.
that was pretty funny. My thing with that one was it kind of went on a bit long for me. I didn't think the whole episode if that would have been like a B plot that they kind of kept revisiting like jokingly, I could have been like, okay, but for that to be like the main focus of that episode, and he was like working through very obvious daddy issues with the boss. I don't know, man.
I mean, I'll give you that episode was a little bit of a lull for me in the season, but I still liked it. It was just, you're asking things that Ned made me laugh. The part where he was coming in early and then Mare scares him because she's sleeping there because of the sewer issues, and he's just like, "Oh gosh!" The way he jumps and screams. That
was kind of funny. Yeah.
That was really funny.
I will say I like
the morgue thing was hilarious because he's calling the morgue. I'm like, dude, this guy is losing his mind, and then he brings everyone in because he thinks the story, and it's him.
So in all fairness, I'll say this: if I had not already known that was coming, that might have hit a little different. But I knew it was coming. And by then already had some other context of him as a character that I wasn't loving him. So the mix of him not like standing out to me and me knowing that joke was coming might have affected that. I'll give you that. And I will say I like that he's principled. In that episode where Mare is staying in the office because the whole neighborhood is backed up from their mitts or whatever. He doesn't back down on writing about it. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, that becomes the catalyst for what becomes, in my opinion, and I know you disagree with this, but I agree with the YouTube video I sent you a couple months back, a very unearned finale of that. So again, I'm supposed to believe that within 10 episodes, which is not played up as much more than like a day per episode. So like, even if it was a month, let's just say it was 10 episodes and it covers a month of in-world time. Because there's a couple things where like they happen like in the next episode, they're literally referencing things as if they were like the day before. So I know it doesn't cover a month of time, but even if it did, in a month, he got to a place where the paper was not taken seriously. It's basically non-existent. It's an ad clickbait website. And then within a month's time, they're winning awards, plural, for the paper.
For these little ridiculous awards for a really small regional area. It's like, it's ironic and silly how those awards, the fact that they care about the awards so much is part of the comedy, I think. Well, the awards are like basically nothing.
That's fair.
Did you laugh at the part where Oscar did his speech and he was like, "Sometimes I answer interview questions in my dreams"?
I didn't even hear that. I don't remember hearing that.
Oh man,
that one must have gone over my head or something. I must have got distracted for a second. I don't remember hearing that, but that is kind of funny. I will say, Oscar, to me, they shouldn't have him in the show. I agree. I think you had said that at one point, and that he shouldn't be in the show. Like,
well, I don't know if I agree with that. The whole show. I think I said they should have brought him in later. I love Oscar in this show. I like him better than I liked him in The Office.
I mean, he's not a favorite of mine in The Office either. But I just, it's glaring to me. It's like a glaring distraction. It's like I'm trying to get used to all these new faces and new people, and then they like keep throwing this like reference to a show that is better in my face. And then in the first,
by the way, hold on, I before I forget this, you said Ned is a baby. If you can't sit here with a straight face and tell me you don't think Michael Scott is a baby and how he overreacts to everything. But that was your reason for not liking Ned.
But they play Ned as like a baby who like I don't know how to put it other than they play him as serious, And so then when he performs babyish things, it comes off as grating to me. When Michael Scott does babyish things, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's an idiot, because he's an idiot all the time. When he burns his foot on the mini grill in bed because he likes breakfast in bed. So what he'll do is he'll wake up and start cooking bacon and go back to sleep so he can wake up to the smell of bacon in bed. That's an idiot thing to do. So when he's acting like a baby all day because he burned his foot on his Foreman grill in his bed, first of all, that is alone by itself funny, but it is amplified by the fact that someone else in the office that day is like having a cancer scare, and he wants everyone to care about his burnt foot more than the person waiting on results for their cancer evaluation.
That's exactly the type of stuff that I did not like about The Office, because that was too much. Like,
I don't know. I find that hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The thing with Ned is like his when he acts like a baby when his emotions get in the way of what he wants to do, because he just cares so much about journalism. The one thing I told Claire after the last season, and I also warned you not to go in trying to compare these.
No, you did, and I did my absolute best to watch it clean slate, unbiased.
Yeah, you're comparing Ned to Michael.
Well, that's what this debate is. And you brought that up. I was just telling you why I like it when Michael does it versus when Ned does it. Because you were saying...
No, because earlier you said the point when you were saying what you didn't like about Ned is you said this should have gone full Michael Scott or full...
Well, that's the reason I said that is because they make it very apparent. They keep reminding you this is in that universe. So it's not like unheard of for there to be people in this world that act like that. And my point is, when they were writing this character, and I say Michael Scott, I could say Ace Ventura, pick a wacky character. They should have gone full wacky or full serious with him, is my point.
Okay.
I was just using in-universe examples, but...
I think that's a clever way to work around comparing, but...
I'm just saying, like, they go back and forth with him too much.
I don't agree with that, because it's always consistent with what it is that sets him off. He doesn't know how to handle his emotions. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that I like about him is all the things you talked about, of that this paper was pretty much non-existent when he came here. And by the end of it, he's actually got people rallied around that. Like, the one thing that's different is in The Office, nobody really cared about their job. It was just a lame office job that they had to do to pay the bills. And that was the whole premise of the show. This is something different where nobody cared until he got there. And then he's like inspiring them, and they all want to win the awards and actually turn the paper into something. But what's funny about it is he is like, he's still emotionally immature. He can't handle when things get out of hand. And that makes him act dumb and do stupid stuff. Like, it seemed like a completely consistent character.
I mean, I will say, though, and this is fresh on my mind, again, because I was doing a little rewatch of the first season of The Office. I'm sorry. They did have the motivating factor in The Office as well. But theirs just wasn't as, like, happy-go-lucky wholesome. Theirs was, we might be getting downsized because we're a paper company in an ever-advancing technological space. And by the time the time this came out was like, it was 2005, it was still happening. So it very much fit that time. The idea that in this day and age, a guy would come to a mostly tech-based like news platform and have any success at all cutting their tech-based platform and going to a strictly printed paper format is already ridiculous. Like, first of all, no company would do it. And then second of all, it wouldn't have any real success. I mean, because no one really reads the paper, period. I mean, that they even make fun of that in the opening theme, where like people are like using newspapers to like wrap garbage up in and like put, nasty stuff on and whatever. Like, people just don't read the paper. It's kind of become that way. And it'd be different if this was like 2005, where like that's starting to change, but it's in modern day where like everyone's got smartphones and stuff. Like, I don't know.
I think that's part of the ridiculousness of the comedy. Like, that's part of what makes it funny. Because in The Office, there would be no paper company where you're just literally selling paper. That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that exists, but it
If it
wouldn't
does-
look like a little quaint office like that. I'll give you
yeah,
that.
they're basically like an in between where they're taking paper from manufacturers and trying to sell it to. That would not exist.
Right, a
Like,
middleman of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's silly.
Yeah. And I mean, but I guess, again, you're right. That is silly. Like, it's funny to think that would exist because it's just blank paper. Newspapers, like, that exists. I mean, even today, even though I don't think they're as relevant, they still exist. Like, again, there's a little bit of tonal inconsistency for me. It's like they want me to take certain things serious until they want it to be silly. And that goes for, like, the premise. It goes for certain characters. And I'm not trying to only rag on it. Like, there are things about it I really liked. I really, really like the Detrick and Nicole dynamic. They're very sweet, very wholesome. I think that's really cute.
I like him as a character, too.
I like Detrick as a character, and it actually really hurt me in the finale when they, like, broke up because she found out that he was not actually, like, dating other people, which I thought was going to get played up as, like, a big joke, and then she was going to be like, no, that's actually really sweet. I'll date you now because I can trust you or whatever. But, like, she was actually upset about it, and they, like, stopped talking or whatever.
You tricked me into a monogamous relationship.
Yeah. Like, because of that, I was like, oh, this is going to be like, all right.
Yeah.
And then it, like, slapped me in the face with, like, no, real emotions. So, like, they're really cool. I like them. I love Travis. When him and Detrick went to go interview the people about the fish,
yeah.
and when they get there, Detrick finds out that Travis's ex-girlfriend works there, and just the look on his face of like he's completely lost in this, and Travis starts asking, he's like, well, that's only my first question. I obviously have a follow-up.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fine. He's like, is there any part of you that still loves me and wants to be with me? And also, this is who you replace me with? And they just start fighting. That is funny.
Yeah, that was gold.
And this is my point. The characters I loved the most in this show are the ones who are, their characteristics are strong. Travis is clearly the nutcase. Like, he's got the drone he flies around. He takes the British dude to dump documents in a pond or something. He uses this newfound little bit of power to go talk to his ex-girlfriend, and Detrick is like the hopeless romantic who's kind of the cool guy, but he's actually not that cool. He's kind of insecure, and he's got feelings for Nicole. Nicole is like the outwardly insecure, quiet, awkward, I really liked all of them. I like Mare for the most part. I definitely, like you said, I think she's a good antithesis to Ned. She's the mellow, calm, capable one who can actually change a tire.
I will give you that. I did not like Ned in that episode. That episode,
that was the one that has tainted my taste for him the most.
I wouldn't take it that far, but that one was like, all right, come on, like he's being a little bit over.
I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, I say tainted as in, like, my overall opinion of him probably would be more positive other than that. Like, he acts like such a baby.
Yeah.
That whole because of her answering one question a certain way that I didn't even think was that bad. And I understand that's the point. I understand this was planned and written and shot and filmed. I get that was their point, but it rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. This season doesn't have its low moments. It has its refining moments for refinement. But overall, Ned as a character, the energy that he brings to the team, and the kind of like, I think it's a unique take on a character where he still does Michael Scott type things in terms of, like, I don't even know if it's Michael Scott type things because he doesn't do things.
I wouldn't say he does Michael Scott type things.
Well, I'm only saying that because you were talking about, like Michael Scott, the burning his foot or whatever, like, is consistent with him, but Ned is inconsistent because sometimes he does stupid things. But, like, he still does dumb things that like hurt the company and hurt his own progress that are hilarious to me. And part of it is just because I think he's a little naive. Like he's naive about Esmeralda. Like he does not believe someone could actually be as malicious as she is. And she is hilariously like she annoyed me in the first 2 episodes. I was like, this woman is evil. It's not even funny. But then as it went on, I started to like her because she's like pretty funny about it. I also I hated the British character at first. Now I love him. I thought he started to get pretty funny. Like when he called Marv my liege. That was really funny. Anyway.
The only thing I will say I laugh about him is every time he goes to a room where he's not wanted, as much as he tries to like flex power, they're like, leave. And like, and off I go.
Yeah.
he just leaves immediately. That's kind of funny, but.
Yeah. What about when he had, I can't remember which character. They were doing the testing of the products and he got a different character. I don't remember, to do his testing for him.
Oh, he gave the gas station like male enhancement pills to that dude with like 4 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then he said something about like 3 times. He's like, and then he was like, man, it must have been an off night.
But the British guy's like, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah.
And then I forgot where I was going. Oh yeah, Ned. So like his thing is like he's just so passionate. He's like a little kid. Like he's just so happy and like just go lucky. He just wants to get after it. But he has no emotional maturity. Like that's consistent, I think, throughout the whole show.
I would agree with that, but I think the way they display it is what's inconsistent. Like
would you agree with that if they didn't have that episode?
That episode's by far the worst. But like another example, we were just talking about the episode where he says I love you to the guy, and then like midway through it he like regrets saying it and he's like dealing with stuff, so he starts acting like a moody teenager. He's like, gosh, whatever, like just get out of my can you get out of my office, please? Like all that. I'm just like, you want me to take him serious? Like I could understand him working through stuff, and like I could even understand him having like a overreaction, like an overcorrection because he's embarrassed because he said he loves it. But like, this isn't an overcorrection of like an adult. This is like he's acting like a child. And I get your point is that like he struggles with controlling his emotions, but I just don't think they do a good job of showing that, because most of the time he's a pretty chill guy. It's just when
I don't know if I would agree with that.
When the situation calls for it, when they need him to like, and I say they, I mean the writers, the showrunners, when they need him to like kind of flip out for the scenario or whatever, they have him do it. And I'm just like,
I don't know if I would agree with that. I think maybe that one episode is a bit of that, but I just felt like he just takes things, like he doesn't know how to interpret things the right way because he's like a little kid. He's over the moon excited about the paper, and he's really thinks he's gonna like change this whole thing, and he's also overly dramatic when bad things happen, or at least perceived bad things happen. Did you think the scene where Ned was doing a fake meeting to impress Marv was funny? Because I thought that was hilarious.
So I will say this. I have 2 things to say on that. One, I probably didn't like it as much because I saw it in the trailer. So like I knew that was a scene.
Oh.
But on the flip side of that, when I saw it in the trailer, I didn't like bust out laughing or whatever. I don't know,
man. That, especially when that one guy was like, "That was the best meeting we've ever had."
Yeah, I mean, so I will say, here's another thing I'll give it. Much like The Office, when they have the whole group of them together, they play off of each other very well. Like this show so far to me is at its strongest when the whole group is together. And I think if they had focused this season more on building up those dynamics and letting you get a feel for the office, that group, the paper as a whole, and then in subsequent seasons start splitting them off in different random pairs to get the more in-depth stuff, I think it would have benefited from that. And I say that rewatching the first season of The Office, I always remember these episodes where like Dwight and Jim would have to go out on a sales call, or Pam and Michael Scott would have to, go do something. Like they go to the school in that one episode or whatever. Like there was always these like breaking off into pairs. They're not doing that right now in the first season. Every episode has been, there's little B plots and stuff where like this character's talking to this character about something and then this is going on or whatever, but they're in the office. They're not going all around Scranton and doing things. And to me,
they did that in the second episode because they were all looking for a different thing. Remember,
second episode is Diversity Day.
Oh, I'm talking about the paper.
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, wait. Okay.
The paper should have done this. They
kept them in the office.
They should have kept them all together for this first season, at least more. I'm not saying every episode had to be this, but more, because it kind of helps you as a viewer bond with them as a group while they're bonding as a group, because they're all kind of new to each other too, at least in this respect. Travis works strictly for the Softies place, and Oscar's an accountant, and, Mayor is actually kind of doing stuff for the paper, but she feels useless and untied to everyone because she just drags and drops stuff. Esmeralda purposely doesn't talk to anyone because she's all about her. She's like the big boss or whatever. Like all these people have their own things going on. Nicole's very, introverted and withdrawn from everyone for her own reasons. So this group gets together with this common goal, like you said, of like rallying behind the new guy who's like, we can do this, and it's kind of empowering to all of them as well. And I think if this first season had spent more time focusing on that, them being in that room, working on building the paper, I think that would have gone a long way, is all I'm saying. I'm not saying every episode, but...
Sure. But, and this got brought up by that guy in the YouTube video too, like, I don't think it's fair because I loved the first season of The Paper, but a lot of people didn't. But I did not like the first season of The Office. If I ever go back and rewatch the show, I never watched the first season. I hate the whole first season. Like everything about it is it's too cringy. It's cringy to the point where it's like, this isn't even funny. It just makes me uncomfortable. There's like a handful of funny things, but the second season, like, it goes on a whole different level. So maybe you'll have a similar reaction with The Paper. But
I mean, like I said, it's very possible, which is why I really hate that you didn't watch more St. Dennis, because to me, St. Dennis, by its nature, they're in a hospital, so they don't have to go out and about. Like, everything's happening in there. So you do get a lot more of that a lot quicker. Like, they're all together all the time at work. So,
yeah, I didn't like any of the characters in that first episode.
I mean, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and say, I don't remember the first episode that well. So I'm not going to sit here and say, like, if you didn't love them in that, you just won't like them. To me, they grew on me with time. Like, even, I'll put it like this. Like, if you took The Paper's 10 episodes, St. Dennis's first 10 episodes, and The Office's first 10 episodes, which would be all of the first season, and then the first 4 episodes of the second season, I think that, to me personally, it would be easy to rank them Office, St. Dennis, and The Paper.
Well, I haven't seen the first 10 episodes of St. Dennis, but if we're just talking about first episodes, for me, it would be The Paper, The Office, St. Dennis.
You think The Paper is better than The Office?
I've said that before, yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I think it's actually quite a bit better.
That's wild. That is wild. Even if every season of this show was out, it would take a miracle for me to say it's better than the Office in its prime.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, well, I don't know. It's hard to say because The Paper doesn't have a quote unquote prime yet.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but if we're judging first seasons, oh yeah, I hated the first season of The Office. Like
that's crazy.
I don't know. I didn't understand why anyone liked that show. But the second season, I started to like it, and then as it went on, I really started to like it. And I can appreciate the first season now because I like the rest of the show. But yeah, I mean, like Diversity Day, that episode was just like, this is not funny. It just felt weird and just cringy to the point where it's like, I don't get why people like feeling uncomfortable like this.
I mean, to me, it's I don't I don't like the overabundance of cringe, but Steve Carell, you could just tell from the very first scene of the first episode that he was like a diamond, dude. Like
I disagree with that.
Do you even remember what the first scene is?
The first scene that I remember is when he's introducing people to the office, and then he goes up to the desk and he's like, "Pam, Pam," and smacks on the.
I'm pretty sure the first scene, which to be fair, I watched a different version of. I accidentally clicked on like there's a thing on Peacock where they have all the seasons of The Office and they call it Superfan editions.
Yeah.
And I was seeing things in these episodes and I was like, I don't remember this being in the episode. And then I realized they all said extended cut. But anyway, The first scene I remember seeing in there is he's sitting at his desk and the camera's like over the shoulder of who obviously is Jim, but you don't know that at the time. He's like, so you, did you close with the library? And he's like, well, kind of, we're having a little trouble, like blah, blah, blah. And he's like, so you've come to the master.
Yeah.
And he's like, you called this meeting. And he goes, right. And then he starts calling them or whatever. Like, to me, that right there, right off the rip, I was like, oh, okay, this guy's a moron. All right, got it. He's playing up for the cameras because there's a documentary crew here. And that is his character for 7 seasons, 6 seasons, whatever.
Yeah, see, but I got that vibe from Ned. Not that he's the same kind of character, but I like understood him from the very beginning, from that first interview when he's talking about how he just loves journalism and he's so excited for this. I'm like, oh, this is an interesting take. So he's just happy gung ho.
Well, what about your first impression of Ned when he completely knocks a lady's salad over that he doesn't know who she is and doesn't really say anything or do anything to help her?
I don't remember that in the first episode.
Yeah, that's his first introduction with Mayor.
Oh, yeah. Because he's being interviewed, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Well, not interview. He's going up there. He's trying to go up. It's his first day.
Yeah.
And he's going up early to like kind of, I guess, get the lay of the land, meet people or whatever.
And he thinks he's going to be late or like he gets.
Well, he says he's early. Like he says he's there early to go talk to people. Like,
okay.
Like he stated that.
I feel like I remember there being, he's like, is jittery about something or like
he comes off that way, but I mean, he literally said he was there early.
I'd have to go back and watch that scene again.
And then while he's standing there, she comes out and he like bumps and like knocks her salad over. Doesn't say, I mean, he might say like sorry, but like he doesn't like help her or anything. And he leaves. And then the only time he like tries to make it up to her is when he's like, hey, do you know where I could go get some food? And then he's like, I owe you a salad anyway. Like basically saying like, I'll get you a salad to make up for the one that I spilled. But if she wasn't working in that office, it just, oh, well, I guess you just don't have lunch now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember that.
Not to mention also on that note, when he goes up there and they lock him in that glass room because they think he's like a drug addict or something. I thought that was wild. I
like not funny.
Yeah. I was like, why is this our first introduction of him and them is they lock him in a room because they think he's some random dude. Like nothing about this surrounding this office, nothing about the tone you've said has been like, oh, we're in like a heavy drug filled area. Like, and it never gets brought up again, by the way. Like they're out on the streets a lot in this season and it never gets brought up again. It would have been funny if they would have done it like a recurring bit, like, these people on this, whatever, I think this is like acid or something, like keep coming up to them, like for some reason acting like they're news reporters or something. That would have been funny, but it never gets brought back up. They're just like, oh, he's an acid head. Lock him up.
Yeah, I think they were just shocked that there was anyone new in there. Like,
yeah.
But I mean, I didn't think it was the most hilarious bit ever, but I didn't feel that critical about it. I thought it was funny. What about I'm forgetting his name. He's almost like the Creed. Like he's doing the crossword puzzle.
Or you mean the Stanley?
Or no, I think he's more like Creed but because he's
really?
He's like out there. He's kind of.
I mean, he can't hear anything, but I think he's more like Stanley than Creed. Creed was
what's his
weird.
Name? What's his name?
I don't remember.
Darn, I wish I could remember his name. Anyways, there's 2 scenes in particular, or two parts with him that I think were hilarious. The first is in the first episode where he's like, "Man, this crossword puzzle is tricky," and someone walks by. We don't do a crossword puzzle. He's just circling random letters on the newspaper.
That was funny.
And then he goes like, "Oh," and then the scene where Esmeralda has a dream about him. That whole episode
that went on a bit too long.
Dude, that whole thing was hilarious to me.
I was just like, "All right, dude." You found an old picture of your oldest employee, and now you're having weird dreams about him. So she comes in and makes out with him, like, now the spirit is broken. I was like, all right, whatever. I didn't love that. I don't know. I would say it would have been funnier if it didn't go on as long, but even the first time it got brought up, I wasn't like laughing. The writing on this show to me is not strong yet. I think it can get there. I think they've got the right base. They've got the right foundation. Because I've seen funny stuff in the show. There were things that made me laugh. When the students come for their little like shadowing day.
Oh yeah.
And Travis starts talking to them and he's like, so like if you have any questions, like feel free to let us know. And the like girl's like, do you feel like the over-reliance on anonymous sources, like blah 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 blah? And he goes, so does anyone else want to take, like, I feel like I'm monopolizing the conversation. That made me laugh. In that same scene, they say something about asking questions, and Mare, who's usually played up as like the more capable person in there, is like, yeah, you don't want to ask yes or no or leading questions. You don't want to ask leading questions because that can kind of affect their answer. You want to ask more something like, instead of blah, 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 you would ask blah, 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 yes or no. And then the girl is like, well, actually, Miss such and such tells us not to ask yes or no questions because they kind of cut off the answer and make it like a dead end. And then it pans back over and even Mare's like, oh, I'm an idiot too. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then the black girl with the curly hair, I don't remember her name.
I don't remember her name either.
She's sitting there and she's like, they said something about using something, and she's like, I haven't had to use it in either of my articles. And they're like, you've only written 2 articles? And she's like, well, yeah, but I've only been doing this such and such. And the kid's like, I'm in high school and I've written 42. Like, that whole exchange made me laugh a few times. Like, that was funny. That was really funny. Like, I've seen funny things in the show. I think there's potential. I think second season will be better. Just like The Office, like you were saying, completely changed.
Do you think they're going to make a second season?
It's been greenlit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's getting a second season.
That makes me very happy. Watch you love the second season and me hate it.
It might be.
Yeah.
You never know. I think they need to find their groove. I don't think they've found their footing yet. I think they're still trying to figure some of these characters out.
When you say that, I can agree with that on a fundamental level. I think part of it is you and I had different approaches. Maybe I hyped it up too much for you. Maybe that was part of the problem, but
possible. I don't know.
I think I entered this show like with a lot of grace because I'm not an Office fanatic.
That's fair.
Although
I am.
Claire is though, and she loved the paper. So I don't know. I don't think she thinks it's better than The Office, but she likes it almost as much as I do. But, I think I was entering it like with a lot of grace. I didn't have any care about how it compared to The Office. It really felt like its own thing to me. And I didn't expect a whole lot. Like, I wasn't thinking it should go this way or should go that way. I just kind of let it happen. And I also, in the back of my mind, I think there was this thought of like, well, it's a first season, not everything's going to be perfect. That I think without even knowing it, I just kind of subconsciously had that attitude going in. And I, like I said, I wasn't an Office fanatic. I liked The Office. I hated the first season, but after that, I really started to like it, especially when the dynamic between Michael and Jan started to like flourish in the second season.
Yeah.
That whole thing was hilarious to me. Anyways,
oh, no.
I don't know. It might just be we have different expectations.
Well, and I was gonna say, I have to keep in mind too, our opinions on comedy overall are going to influence this a lot. And if you, generally speaking, aren't a big fan of how The Office does comedy, that we're very different right off the rip, because I think The Office is one of the funniest written shows ever.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you think Seinfeld is not funny,
right?
and I would have the inverse
Right.
opinion.
And I mean, we still have some crossover because I mean, like you say, you do enjoy The Office. We both like Community.
Yeah,
I've seen some things in Seinfeld that have been funnier than other bits. I mean, there's some crossover there, but for the most part, yeah, I think we're coming at this very differently. But yeah, I think we can agree it's not at its best yet, for sure. I
Yeah.
think it can get a lot better, and I think that with it already being serviceable, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the second season. I still think the finale, the award thing, whatever, I can let it go. It is what it is. If you say it, maybe I'm reading into it. You say that the awards were meant to be stupid and silly. To me, they never portrayed it like there's a way to do subtlety, like to send a certain message and deliver the joke. I don't know how to word that elegantly, but like there would have been, to me, a way for them to write it where, as a viewer, I know that these awards are kind of pointless, but like for them, it's going to be a big deal. And I was going to compare it to like the Dundee's episode in The Office, but that's very different because that's a little obvious that those aren't important because they're Office awards.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
I felt it like it was written that way to me because Ned is just so contagiously in love with the paper and journalism.
So like you thought the awards were meant to be like dumb?
Like not as important as the characters are making them out to be. It's a little town. There's hardly anyone to compete with out
Isn't
there.
Isn't it Toledo?
Yeah, Toledo. I mean, well, they're in Toledo, but the regional awards they're going to is for a small area of like, even Toledo's not that big of a city. It's probably like Columbia.
That's notable. I mean, that
not really.
If someone was writing a paper for the city of Columbia, because this is the Toledo, it's not like a,
Well, there is a paper for the city of Columbia. It's called The State.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if someone wrote an article in there and won an award for it, that'd be a big deal.
That's probably happened, and we don't even know about it
because we're not in tune with it. But I'm saying,
But the thing is we don't care about, most people don't care about the paper anymore. That's the premise of the show. So like,
right, but
also even in that, who is the state competing with? If they had a little regional journal, they're going to be competing with what, Charleston and I don't know.
Lake Murray News.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, of course they're going to win if there is an award for some regional area. Like, of course they're going to win that stuff. But it's not that. It's not like you're competing with the New York Times, or Time Magazine or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but that's my point, though, is like, is it important or is it not? If it's important,
it's important to them.
That's my point.
Yeah,
that's my point.
They made that obvious from the very start. Ned has brought this contagious attitude toward the paper, toward journalism.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If it's important to them, then I think that it was a big deal that it happened. And if it was a big deal that it happened, then I think they rushed it, because I don't think you should be winning awards of any level in your first season. I just think it's a little early to me.
From that perspective, I can agree with. I can see that is a little bit early to.
And like I said, I can let that go completely because, like you said, there's some gray area there on like how big of a deal it really was. Here's what I can't let go. As a viewer that this was a big deal. The Mayor and Ned thing, dude.
I loved that they did that.
I don't.
I do.
There's no build up now for them at all. Like, there's nothing the only thing that can happen, and I already see it now. I see it now. I'm calling it. Season 2 is going to start off with them like hating each other. It's going to start off with them hating each other because the last thing you saw them do was kiss. And you're
spoilers.
Like, yeah, spoilers. I mean, they're not married or anything. It's just a kiss. But season 2, everyone's going to be expecting them to be like all datey and happy. So what they're going to do is they're going to start season 2 off with them like being at odds. I call it now.
I see what you're saying, but I love that they did that because the buildup between Jim and Pam was just so long, and I don't want to see that again. And so I like that they did this differently this time. It's like we're giving it to you right off the bat, and I think that's good.
I can tell you right now, the Jim and Pam thing is one of the best parts of The Office, and the paper knows that, and they're doing it, but they're not doing it with Ned and Mayor. They're doing it with Detrick and Nicole. And that will, I promise you, end up being a much more favorable relationship to the fan base if this show sticks around long enough to do it.
You promise me?
Oh, I promise you. I guarantee it.
Okay, well, I'm part of the fan base, and
but
way more.
You're part of the fan.
I'm part of the paper fan base, most people, not The Office.
Most people, even the ones watching this show, are watching it because it was related to The Office. They are Office fans. I'm telling you, you're in the minority even in this fan base.
I probably am. I mean, I'll give you that.
And I really think the Detrick and Nicole thing is going to be the Jim and Pam of this show. And if they get enough time and enough seasons, I think that one's going to end up being the one everyone's like following like crazy because they don't rush it. They kind of did. I don't want to give away too much of the first season, I guess, if we're doing like non-spoilery stuff. I didn't think about it until I said the thing about them kissing, and then you were like, spoilers. But they kind of did rush it, if you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But like then the way it ended, it's like, oh, this is a lot different than they're approaching it differently than the Jim and Pam thing.
I don't think that there's no build-up. I think there's a lot of ways they could go with it that would still keep it interesting, but whatever. I think we're coming up on time now.
Wow. I didn't even get to talk to you about St. Dennis.
That's true. We are...
Well, we took a break. How far are we over?
Pretty far.
What are we at?
Almost 2:30.
Because you got to think a lot of the time at the beginning is going to get cut because we were doing the...
Yeah, I've been keeping track of that.
Okay.
We're pretty much coming up on time.
Okay.
And I also have a meeting today that I have to go to.
Okay. Well, next episode, Daniel's going to have watched all of St. Dennis, and we're going to talk just about that. And we're not even going to talk about Wake Up Dead Man or Avengers Doomsday. We're going to push that an episode back.
Heresy.
I'm telling you, you would like St. Dennis, I think. It's not cringe comedy like The Office. It is a little more wacky than the paper. But it sounds to me like the wackiness isn't what ever bothered you about The Office, is the cringe parts. So I think you would like it. It's pretty funny. They do a good job of exploring some things that like these other shows can't because it's not a medical setting. Well, I guess they could, but it'd be like kind of hard to force it. But like, I'll just tell you about this one thing, and then I'll let that be my thing on that for now. So there's an episode where it's one of the first ones, like 2 or 3. They're dealing with the topic of being an organ donor. And the guy, Matt, who's like comes from an extremely like religious kind of sheltery background, he's talking to the head lady about, I guess he finds out that a lot of people are organ donors and he's not one. And he's trying to decide on like, I guess where he stands on that and like, should he become one or not? So he's like, he's so innocent the whole time. Like he's not doing any of this on purpose, but he's like wreaking havoc in the hospital the whole episode because he's just like ruining everyone's outlook on this because he's asking really innocent questions, but it's making people think really deeply about this. So he goes up to like the head lady who her whole thing this episode is how you need to separate your personal life and your work life. There needs to be a steel wall between your personal life and your work life. And then she finds out that a guy got brought into the hospital and they lost him there. And it was her kalimba teacher. And she just like can't deal with that all day. Well, he was an organ donor. So Matt has been dealing with this whole thing of like, should I be one or shouldn't I? And he was like, oh, they're doing the harvesting right now on a body. I'm going to go down and watch. So he comes back up and starts talking to the head lady, Joyce, about the guy that she knows and his stuff getting taken out. And he's like, yeah, they just kept like scooping and scooping. And he was like, it was like a piñata, but there was no candy. And she's like telling him to shut up. And he said it looked like one of those Saw movie posters that I accidentally saw one time. Like he's so sheltered, he accidentally saw the movie poster. Yeah. And then the other thing he does in that episode is he goes up to Bruce, who's like this really charismatic, like outwardly, you know, he's kind of like the Esmeralda, I guess, of the show. Like it's all about him.
Yeah, the surgeon guy.
Yeah,
I hated
Mr. Perfect, but you find out some stuff about him that's actually really touching and sad. But I'm not going to ruin it if you do end up wanting to check it out, so we could talk about it. It really expound on his character. But Matt goes up to him and he's like, hey, I have a question. If I was an organ donor, would you work less hard to save me if I was in here dying? And he's like, what? No, that's a crazy question. We work equally hard to save all patients. And he's like, well, yeah, but I'm just thinking, I mean, like if I'm an organ donor and I die, you know, you could save like 12 other patients with my organs. And he's like starts thinking about it. And he goes, no, I heal patients. They heal the world. That's how this works. That's like been his mantra through this episode is I heal patients. They heal the world. And Matt's like, what? He's like, I don't know. You think about it. You heal me. I heal the world, but you could multiply that by 12. And he's like, it just completely stumps him. And he goes, get out of my office. So Matt leaves. For the rest of the episode, Bruce is walking around trying to like convince himself that his original mantra is good. So he goes into this one thing and pulls the curtain back, and the guy immediately goes, finally, a white doctor. And he goes, nope, not that one. He goes somewhere else. He starts talking to the patient, and the patient, he's like, what do you do? And he's like, oh, well, I run like an insurance company where I close on small claims businesses if they don't pay their bills or whatever, and we like take all their stuff from them. And he goes, oh, right, but you're talking about like big companies. It's like the greedy people. He's like, no, mostly small businesses. They're easier to target. And like he goes, oh my God, like he keeps finding the worst people in the hospital to talk to. And so finally everyone's in the break room, and Bruce just like comes in the middle of their conversation and sits down and goes, hey everyone, y'all ever wonder why the heck we even do what we do? And they all just like stop talking and stare. It's really funny to see him get so frazzled because he's normally like the most confident, like nothing shakes him because he's kind of stupid confident.
Yeah.
But like that episode really, like there's just a lot of really funny writing in the show. I think you would like it. I think you would. And I hate that you didn't watch. I thought you were going to watch it so we could debate all three.
I didn't know we were supposed to watch the whole season. Well, I just thought check it out and tell me what you think about it. Like,
well, I mean, even more than one episode would have been.
Yeah, but I hated the first episode so much that I was like, I know what I feel about this show. So
I just don't think that's fair, man. I'm not even holding the whole first season of the paper against it.
That's fair. But I mean, if I had known that you were going to watch all of that, I might have tried to watch more. But I didn't realize that was the assignment. I thought it was just check it out.
That's not homework. I was just hoping that it would be more.
It kind of is, though.
Okay. Well, anyway, that I guess is all for us today. Thank you guys for listening. Like I said, next episode in a couple weeks, hopefully we will have a lot of really, really fun stuff to talk about, and looking forward to it.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.